Hello and welcome to this new video. Today we're going to talk about the doshas. This is a central concept in Ayurveda. We'll see what this concept consists of and why it's so fundamental. To understand the concept of doshas, we need to talk about the 5 elements. Ayurveda recognizes 5 elements called Mahabhutas. These are space or ether, by its Sanskrit name Akasha, air, Vayu, fire, Tejas, water, Apa, and earth, Prithvi. According to Ayurveda, the universe was created by these 5 elements. Space was first filled with air. Friction between the air created heat and fire. Fire liquefied, creating water, and water thickened to form earth. These 5 elements make up all matter. They are present everywhere, both in the world around us, seasons, food, etc., and in our bodies. Like we saw in the previous video about what's Ayurveda, the science of life believes that a microcosm is a reflection of a macrocosm. We are a reflection of the universe. Human beings are a macrocosm, a reflection of a macrocosm that surrounds them. From these elements, the doshas are formed. The word dosha is a Sanskrit word. Its literal translation means defect. It can also be translated as vital energy. There are 3 doshas. The ether and air elements form the vata dosha, which is the energy of movement. The fire and water elements form the pitta dosha, which is the energy of transformation. The water and earth elements form the kapha dosha, which is the energy of consolidation. These 3 doshas, like the elements, are present outside of us and also within our bodies. When the doshas are in balance, they are vital energies for the body, helping it perform its functions. However, when they are out of balance, they promote the onset of disease, hence the meaning of defect. We each have all 3 doshas within us, but in a proportion that is unique to us. Prakriti is an individual's birth constitution that is the dominant dosha given to him at birth and which he will retain throughout his life. It determines physical appearance, psychology, digestion, and aspirations. This dosha can be single. It's a simple constitution. It's when we have one major dosha. It's the case for Vata person, Pitta person, or Kapha person. It can also be 2 doshas. It's the dual constitution. It's when we have 2 dominant doshas. For example, Vata Pitta, Vata Kapha, Pitta Vata, Pitta Kapha, Kapha Vata, or Kapha Pitta. Most people have a dual constitution. Finally, we can find the triple constitution. It's when we have the 3 doshas in equal proportion. However, this constitution is quite rare. This prakriti cannot be changed. Our dominant dosha will influence us during our lives. Prakriti is different from vikriti. Vikriti is a state of imbalance. This occurs when one dosha or more doshas become imbalanced during our lives due to our activities, lifestyle, environment, diet, etc. The dosha can be in excess or in deficiency. An imbalanced dosha can support the body in its proper functions and contributes to the onset of illness. In this case, Ayurveda has many tools to restore this dosha and its initial state of balance. In Ayurveda, knowing one's birth constitution, one's prakriti, is fundamental. This helps us better know and understand ourselves. It also gives us to have a lifestyle that suits us and allows us to remain balanced. Therefore, the same food or physical activity would not be recommended to a Vata, a Pitta, or a Kapha person. On average, digestion takes 3 hours and is divided into 3 phases. The first phase of digestion is the assimilation of food, corresponding to the kapha dosha and taking place in the stomach. The water and earth's elements facilitate this assimilation. The second phase corresponds to the transformation of food carried out by the Pitta dosha. This energy of transformation, thanks to fire, transforms the food. It's sorted and then transformed into nutrients in the small intestine. The last phase is the evacuation phase, carried out by the Vata dosha and taking place in the colon. The energy of movement contributes to the proper evacuation. Depending on the stage of our life, one of the three doshas is stronger within the body. Indeed, each stage of our life is punctuated by a dosha. The early years of our lives, up to adolescence, is a time of the kapha dosha. During this time, the body builds and strengthens itself and needs the elements earth and water to develop. Mud is often used to represent kapha, and during this period we need this mud to build our foundations and the walls of our home. The period from adolescence until menopause and andropause is the time of Pitta dosha. Pitta is the dosha responsible for hormonal activity. Fire and water are necessary to produce hormones and procreate, but also to give us the impetus necessary to develop our professional lives. Finally, the last phase of life is dominated by the Vata dosha. This is a period of life preceding death. Air and ether, the elements of Vata, gradually become more present in our bodies until the soul finally leaves the body. Doshas also have an influence on time. Classical texts distinguish 6 time slots: 2 6 a.m. or 2 6 p.m., 6 10 a.m. or 6 10 p.m., and 10 a.m. 2 p.m. or 10 p.m. 2 a.m. Each of these time slots corresponds to one of the three doshas. The Vata dosha is predominant between 2 and 6 a.m. and 2 and 6 p.m. The Kapha dosha is predominant between 6 and 10 a.m. and 6 and 10 p.m. And the Pitta dosha is predominant between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. The exact timing of these slots is nuanced if you don't live in India. The Kapha phase begins at 6 a.m. corresponding to sunrise and at 6 p.m. corresponding to sunset. However, if the sun doesn't rise at 6 a.m., which is the case in Europe depending on the season, it's advisable to adjust these times by having the Kapha phase begin at sunrise and sunset. It's said that when we are in the time of slot of dosha, this dosha is exacerbated. This means that it's stronger than during other time slots. This aspect is important to understand because it can help us adapt our activities and meals. For example, the Pitta dosha, which transforms food into nutrients and is responsible of our inner fire, is strongest between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. It's important to have our most important meal of the day during this slot. It will be more easily digested by the body thanks to Pitta. It's also interesting to look at this time in case of illness. If we observe that a symptom appears during the same time period, this allows us to know which dosha might be exacerbated. Some seasons contribute to the aggravation of certain doshas. Indeed, summer is a time of high temperatures. This heat increases the Pitta dosha, the energy of fire. Pitta is said to be aggravated because it increases considerably. If the heat is humid, Pitta, composed of both fire and water, is even more aggravated. Autumn is a time when days become shorter, temperatures drop, and cold weather begins to set in with windy periods. These elements increase the Vata dosha, composed of ether and air. Vata dosha is increased in cold and dry conditions. During the winter, the cold and sub-zero temperatures continue to aggravate Vata. If the winter is cold and wet, then the Kapha dosha can also be aggravated. Finally, spring, when heat begins to reappear, is a season of aggravation of Kapha. Kapha, having accumulated during the winter, is at its peak in the spring and will be liquefied by the heat. This aspect is very important because a microcosm is like the microcosm, meaning that if it's summer and the Pitta dosha is aggravated, this increases in our body as well. Therefore, it's important to have a lifestyle, diet, activities, etc. adapted to the season to prevent the dosha from becoming unbalanced. That's it for this video about doshas. If you like it, don't hesitate to subscribe to my channel and give it a thumbs up, and see you soon.